always his work my father cared about. His research. He tried to save his work. I tried to save him.
Hello there, Sera from 17 once again, introducing you to the second part of Chapter 4 in my Gears of War 3 Insane Difficulty video walkthrough. So, this is a little slow bit to the level where you get to wander around this stranded encampment, and you're going to listen to some exposition, you're going to get some character building when it comes to Cole, and it's an interesting little study into the character that is Cole, and the next level is going to be complementing it even more so. So, there's not too much trouble in this first area, because it's just you walking around, getting kitted up, and then going out and killing some lambents. So I'm going to talk about the game a little bit. The campaign on this is fantastic. I absolutely love it. Excuse me. And it's just terrific. It really is. It's paced fantastically. It's got a lot of really cool set pieces. It looks divine. It plays divine. It's got a lot of good things about it. The game itself is the exact same. It's so tuned, it's so balanced, it's so optimized in certain areas that it's fantastic. It's easily one of the best games this year. It's a guaranteed 9 out of 10 on anyone's calendar. It isn't a 10 out of 10 because it's not perfect and no games are, but it's fantastic in every single conceivable way. There are problems with it though, and I'm going to highlight some of the problems that I personally have with the game, because I could sit here forever telling you how good it is, but I'd just be telling you what everyone else is telling you. Nobody's telling you what they don't like about it. So, the first thing that really gets to me, that really bugged me, was the new mechanics for picking things up. So, the controls of Gears have always been very similar, because all they did were optimize and make them better, make them more streamlined, and just fantastic controls. The cover on the first game, you could get stuck a little bit. You could, you'd go into cover when you didn't mean to, when you meant to roll, and vice versa. There were problems, but for the most, it worked and it was good. The second one tweaked a lot of the problems that you had, but there was still, times when you felt a bit sluggish, when it didn't do what you wanted to do, when it didn't have quite the level of responsiveness. And this one, the movement's divine. The movement's it's a blessing. You feel great. I don't know if that's because the second one was so slow, but it feels good. Your roadie run is back to being fast again, even though it's not all that fast when we think about it, and it just feels good. You're bouncing into cover, you're doing all your good stuff that you normally should, and it feels really nice. Where they fucked it up for me though is, in this effort to make it all more streamlined and make it all, optimized and better and more efficient, they've kind of fucked up some of the essentials that they did really well. One of them is picking up weapons. You usually go over an item and the picture comes up on the screen with the button prompt and you pick it up. And for a lot of the times it works fine, but every so often there's those times where you stood over it and the prompt isn't on the screen. And if the prompt isn't on the screen, you can't pick things up. And it works the same with people. And buying things in Horde. You'll go over to it, you'll not have the prompt on the screen even though you bang next to them, and it's not working. And this is something they've done perfectly for 2 games, and they've now managed to fuck it up. And I right don't get it. And it bugs me. It bugs me to death. When you're in a game and you're playing it on its hardest difficulty, and you're trying to pick somebody up and you're running into them, and it's not giving you the prompt for a revive, it's fucking suicide. And how have they got it wrong? And it translates into the cover as well. There's times when I've meant to roll, when I've meant to go into cover, and I've rolled. And I've been literally a centimetre away from the cover, and the guy's rolled instead of going into cover. And this is something that never happened. If anything, it was the reverse. Yet they've tweaked it now, and it seems different. And it just seems like sometimes you don't get that prompt to go into cover, so it seems a lot more difficult to go into cover, as insane as that sounds, when the cover on this game, like 75% of the time, is beautiful. But every so often you get this little bullshit moment where you try and go into cover when you're really next to something, and you'll roll into the fucking danger zone and get killed. And there's a couple of sections in this game where you're going to be thinking, what the fuck is he doing? And it's all because I've gone to go into cover, and instead of going to cover, he's just rolled. He's fucking rolled somewhere. And I've put myself in a bad situation. And there's also... this fight's kind of challenging as well. I should really talk about it. There's a stalk in the distance that you can't really do too much about yet. There's also a gunker throwing death. So you need to kill these dudes as quickly as you can. I'm using the boom shot because I'm using it. I've got it, so I'm going to use it. That's the mentality I've kind of got. And if you kill these first few Lamberts as quick as possible, you can go towards those crates in front of me, those containers, and you can actually cheese the Gunker. He can't hit you, and you can hit him. And it's really cheap, but it works perfectly, so make sure you use it. Something else as well, when you kill the Drudgers, they can sometimes leave them behind their legs, or their arms or their head, and it will kill you instantly, so make sure you kill it. It's very dangerous. But it happens a lot, this cover thing, and it can be really, really frustrating. Especially when the game itself feels so great. It just seems to trip up on these one or two things that kind of bug me. And it's not game breaking because it's probably my preference, what I'm used to with Gears 2, and they've changed the formula, so I'm just not used to it yet. But it bugs me. And if something bugs me, I'm going to bitch about it. People know this, they've heard me on my commentaries. Stuff bugs me. so I had to point that out. Another pet peeve I've got with the game, which is nowhere near as big or as severe as the one I just did, is unbelievably enough, the pacing. The pacing on this game is lovely. It's really good. It's up there with some of the best single player games I've ever played because it moves at a click, it's constantly introducing new things, and it's entertaining, it's enjoyable, it's satisfying, it's great. The very start of the game, we play as Marcus and we do the first event. Then we go a few hours back and we play as Cole. We do exactly a completely different event that's happening while the thing we did with Marcus takes place, a la Quentin Tarantino. We go all the way back and we look at it from a different direction. This takes up the first 2 acts of the game, or it might be just the first act. Yeah, I think it's just the first act, sorry. So we spend an entire act seeing 2 sides of the same coin. Then you start playing as Marcus and you join up with the people. Then Baird kind of disappears. Baird and Cole just vanish, and you don't see them again until near the end of the game. And then they come back and they've got Jack and he's got upgrades. And I mean, you're listening to them over the phone and things, but you never see what they're doing. It never goes into detail to show you what's going on. And this game is long. This game is the longest Gears game. It's a good 10 hours regardless of difficulty, and if you're going to look around and play on the harder settings, it's going to take you a little bit longer. So it makes me wonder how long the game would have been if they'd have showed us what Cole was doing. And a lot of people are theorising that there's the DLC that they're mentioning for the campaign that's already set because it's in the menu saying coming soon. And a lot of people think it's going to fill in the gaps of what was happening during that event, and I hope it does because the campaign, I'm just losing my words here, people, I'm fucking insane. The campaign on Gears 2 released that DLC that was cut out of the game. And in all honesty, I can kind of tell why that bit was cut out of the game, because it was short, it was shitty, and it wasn't great. I just hope the DLC for this is actually fully fledged and enjoyable, because if it is, it's another excuse to capture and do some more Gears stuff, because I'm going to be doing a hell of a lot of Gears gameplay. It's just fact. I'm going to be playing against bots, I'm going to be playing with friends, I'm going to be playing online versus, I'm going to be playing beast mode, I'm going to be playing horde mode, I'm going to be going through the campaign with 4 people on insane, I'm going to be recording a lot of stuff, and I hope you're stoked for Gears 3, because if you're not, my channel's probably going to start to irritate you a bit, much like the Call of Duty did to some others, because I will still be doing guides and still be doing other videos, but for all intents and purposes, I'm going to be doing a lot of Gears, because I love this game, I think it's fun, and I'm hoping people feel the same. But once you push through here, you will have effectively done a pretty tough section, and all you have to do is go up to the doors that nobody can open on themselves, and there you go, open the doorway. So this is about the area now when the Gunkers are officially the enemy to hate, and they're officially the enemy that's going to be in this level. Because after this, you don't see them that much. You see them a couple times after Act 1, but they don't make too many appearances, and I've got to say that is only a good thing. Because if there were more of those, if there were as many Gunkers as there are Boomers, I think I'd cry. I think I wouldn't have beat the game because they're so hard. They take a beating, they give out so much damage, the splash damage is horrific, it's horrendous, it's unbelievable. And speaking of, we've got an encounter with 2 of the bastards now. So, this makes no sense, this bit, I've got to say it. We've been chainsawing padlocks off of doors several times throughout this game, yet this padlock is special. No idea why. Absolutely no idea. But this section is going to be as difficult as your AI companions are strong. So if you've given them boom shots, if you've given them, I don't know if you get a torque bow this early, if you've given them sniper rifles, if you've given them good stuff, they will make this really quick for you. If you haven't, you're going to have to hide like I do. Because that is a gunker that they're going to be spawning. There he is. There's also a dredge with him. There's also 2 stalks, and I've got a boom shot, so I'm going to use all my boom shot on killing him. Because if he fires that shit at me, I am dead. I hide behind these boxes, it doesn't make a difference. The stalks here, you need to get rid of them. It doesn't really matter, they're always going to spawn 1 dredge and 1 gunker. What you want to do now is focus on killing the stalks. Do not shoot the gunker. Don't shoot him. If you don't shoot him, he doesn't shoot you. If he does attack you for whatever reason, game over. There is nothing he can do. He will kill you through the barrel sometimes. He'll throw it behind you. That'll kill you instantly. If he throws it to either side of you, you're dead. The only thing to do is kill the stalks and sit and wait for your team to kill him. Like I mentioned, if your team have really good weapons, they'll shit on his face. If they don't, this could take a few minutes. But just kill the stalks and pray he doesn't want to kill you. Because if he does, well, God, that was close. Another thing that sucks as well, because the AI is progressive in the fact that it does what it wants sometimes, and every time you play they generally do something different. If any member of your team comes over to this cover where you are, you're dead. Because they will attract attention like nobody's business, and this guy's just going to rail you. But if you play it like a sneaky bastard like I just did, he'll eventually burst, and you have done helping hands. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope the guide's helping. I'm sure it's gonna, because this shit is challenging. You take care now.